it was hard being away from Keely and the boys. I went to work in November, December, 10 days off at Christmas.
In a world where love is often destroyed by scandal, pressure, and public scrutiny, Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Smith have written a remarkable story of love, loyalty, and lasting partnership. They are proof that real love not only exists, but also endures. In the fast-paced, ever-changing world of Hollywood, true love stories are rare gems. Join us as we look into the love story of Hollywood star Pierce Brosnan, their love story. Brosnan and Keely first met in April 1994 at a party in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. There, under the warm sun and the crashing waves of the Pacific, fate stepped in. Keely Shea Smith, a journalist and former model, was there covering the event. Their paths crossed and love sparked between them. Pierce had lost his wife 3 years before and was still mourning her. However, he later described his meeting with Keely as electric. "I couldn't stop staring at her," he said. "She was captivating, strong, beautiful, and full of life." Keely, on the other hand, was struck by his charm, quiet strength, and the quiet sadness in his eyes. They had their first date the very next day. They talked for hours about everything and nothing. "We sat down under the stars and he held my hand," Keely recalled. "There was such tenderness in him, something wounded but beautiful. That was the beginning of an inseparable connection." Pierce and Keely's journey is nothing short of a love that has withstood the test of time. Pierce, who had experienced real love with his first wife, Cassandra Harris, was first hesitant about starting a relationship with Keely. It was hard for him to move on because Keely came into his life when he had already known deep love and deep loss. Brosnan's first wife, Australian actress Cassandra Harris, was a radiant presence in his life. They both met in the early 1980s, and Cassandra was instrumental in shaping his career as an actor and the man he would become. As an established actress in Hollywood before Pierce came to the limelight, she has been his source of strength and encouragement. Cassandra was not only Brosnan's wife, but also his mentor, emotional anchor, and greatest encourager. Long before fame found him, she believed in his talent, often pushing him to aim higher and dream bigger. Her unwavering belief in his potential gave him the confidence to pursue major roles, including the one that completely changed his life, none other than James Bond. It was Cassandra who first planted the idea in his mind. Her experience and insight helped Pierce to see the possibility of one day stepping into such big shoes. She did not just offer verbal encouragement, but also emotional stability during the lean years, when acting jobs were scarce and self-doubt was plenty. She nurtured his ambition and character. However, tragedy struck in 1991 when Cassandra died of ovarian cancer, leaving Pierce widowed and grieving. Her death shattered him. When he finally landed the role of James Bond in 1955's GoldenEye, it was a moment filled with triumph but also bittersweet emotion. Cassandra had passed away and wasn't there to celebrate with him. However, though she didn't live to see him in the iconic role, her influence was deeply felt. Pierce has often spoken about the lasting impact she had on his life, crediting her with his success and fulfillment in the movie industry. After Cassandra's death, Pierce was left to care for their son Sean, as well as Cassandra's 2 children, Charlotte and Christopher, whom he adopted as his own. Cassandra left an immense void in Pierce's life. That is why he once said, "There is an incredible cruelty in losing a person you shared everything with." A few years went by, and yet the pain lingered. He had loved her deeply, and he wasn't sure he could love like that again. However, love, as they often say, comes quietly and unexpectedly. Even though he was not ready to give love another chance, love found him and offered him a chance to experience true happiness again. That was the beginning of his blissful relationship with Keely. Although their initial connection was powerful, Pierce and Keely were careful not to rush into anything. He was still grieving, and she respected that. Pierce confirmed this in an interview, saying, "Keely was a blessing. She never tried to replace what I lost. She simply became my future." Keely became a stabilizing force in Pierce's life over time. They dated for nearly 7 years before getting married, opting to take the time to get to know each other. During that time, Keely accompanied Pierce around the world as he starred in major films like GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and The Thomas Crown Affair. Their relationship was public. She was by his side on red carpets, in quiet moments at home, and during family milestones. They had 2 sons together while they were still dating. They welcomed Dylan Thomas, their first son, in 1997 and Paris Beckett in 2001. Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Smith built a beautiful family rooted in love, healing, and resilience. But Keely's role extended far beyond that of a wife and mother. She also offered emotional support for Pierce by lovingly embracing Pierce's children from his previous marriage, Sean, Charlotte, and Christopher. She offered them the warmth and care they desperately needed. Her presence was the powerful ointment that helped heal a family that had been hurt by grief. Pierce once said, "Keely has this calm, nurturing presence. She gave me peace when I didn't even know I needed it." She was able to use her compassion to bring light back into their lives, creating a home filled with love, laughter, and healing. Her devotion to both Pierce and his children made her the heart of their blended family. After 7 years of unwavering devotion and support for each other in a relationship, Pierce and Keely needed no other proof to show that their love is divine. They decided to seal their relationship forever by getting married. On 4th August 2001, Pierce and Keely got married in a fairy tale ceremony at Ballintubber Abbey in County Mayo, Ireland. The setting holds deep significance for Pierce, who has strong Irish roots. The ceremony was filled with tradition, music, and the kind of love that only grows stronger over time. It was an intimate and heartfelt wedding. Only close friends and family were in attendance. Keely wore a Chantilly lace gown and Pierce, dapper as always. She could hardly hold back tears as she walked toward him. On the other hand, Pierce said that walking her down the aisle was like stepping into a dream. Everything about that moment felt like a miracle to him. They have continued to navigate the relentless demands of fame, the pain of losing loved ones, and the joy of raising children as the years went by. Their relationship has also continued to deepen because their bond was forged not just in romance, but in resilience. Despite their fairy tale life, pain always stood by the door of their lives and struck them unexpectedly. One of those times was in August 2013 when Pierce lost his daughter Charlotte to ovarian cancer, the same disease that took Cassandra, his first wife. It was a heartbreaking echo of the past. Through the devastation, Keely stood steadfast by his side. She was his source of strength when he had none. She held him through grief that he thought he couldn't survive again. They leaned on each other, grew even closer, and used their grief as fuel for advocacy, raising awareness and funding for cancer research. Yes, anyone could think that these horrible experiences could have easily broken him, but instead, he became a strong advocate for cancer eradication, all thanks to Keely Shea Smith, who became his anchor. Her unwavering support helped Pierce navigate the overwhelming grief that resurfaced with Charlotte's passing. Pierce and Keely chose to channel their pain into purpose. They leaned on each other emotionally and grew stronger together. Pierce in particular became involved in numerous cancer-related charities and initiatives. One of his most significant contributions has been supporting Stand Up to Cancer and the Entertainment Industry Foundation. He uses his platform to promote early detection and raise critical research funds. Together, Pierce and Keely launched and supported campaigns aimed at educating the public about the dangers of ovarian and other types of cancer. They also funded scientific programs that focus on innovative treatments and potential cures. Their advocacy is not just professional but deeply personal. It comes from a desire to honor those they've lost and protect future generations. In this way, Keely didn't just help Pierce survive his grief, she helped him transform it into a force for global good. Their love was not only spoken about, but also proven through their actions over the years. Another challenge the power couple recently faced was Keely's body weight. Hollywood is a world obsessed with youth, beauty, and surface appeal, but Keely seems not to be matching that standard. Her weight has been a subject of mockery and criticism in the media for a long time. Pierce has never failed to defend her all those times. He once said to the press, "She is the most beautiful woman in the world to me. I love every curve of her body and every part of her soul. She's given me so much over the years, her love, her strength, her children. I couldn't ask for more." He also said in another viral interview, "When I look at Keely, I go weak. She still makes my heart sing." Their relationship is a shining example of what love looks like when it's rooted in authenticity, respect, and deep emotional connection. When they were asked about the secrets to their lasting love, they admitted that it is their commitment to the little things. They still go on dates, take long walks, write each other notes, and make time for one another. Even after over 30 years together, they continue to celebrate each other on social media with heartfelt messages. Pierce Brosnan is now 72 years old and looks back on his life with deep gratitude. He has weathered storms that might have broken lesser men, yet with Keely by his side, he has found peace, joy, and enduring love. He is still a vibrant actor and featured in the recently released movie directed by Ritchie titled Mobland. After spending more than 3 months apart during the shooting of the film, he confessed in the movie premiere saying, "She is the love of my life. I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. We've built a life together, not just a relationship, but a legacy of love, family, and truth." Oh, how awesome it feels to be with someone for 31 years and still recognize their efforts in your life. This is not just a mere speech for public acceptance, but laced with truth. Their sons, Dylan and Paris, have not kept this fact hidden either. They often speak about their parents with admiration. Dylan said in one interview, "They love each other so deeply, you can feel it just by being in the room with them." Their story is not one of perfection, but of perseverance. It's about choosing each other every day, through the highs and the lows. Love is about giving everything you have and still wanting to give more. Keely taught me that. "She's not just the love of my life, she's my life," Pierce declared. Pierce Brosnan's background. Pierce Brosnan is an Irish-American actor known for playing James Bond in 4 films. He was born in Drogheda, County Louth, Ireland, and spent his childhood in Navan, County Meath, before moving to London. His mother was May Smith, a nurse, and his father was Thomas Brosnan, a carpenter. His father left the household when Pierce was a child, and although they were reunited later in life, the two have never had a close relationship. Brosnan's mother, May Smith, was 19 when she gave birth to him. She had married his father, Thomas, on August 16, 1952. Things took a different turn as his parents separated when he was still a baby, and from the age of 4, he was raised by his maternal grandparents, Philip and Kathleen Smith, while his mother went to London to train as a nurse. Tragedy struck as both grandparents died when he was only 6 years old. He was passed around amongst relatives until Eileen Riley took him into her lodging house. Young Pierce grew accustomed to moving from one family to another, so he doesn't know where his next home will be. Finally, at age 10, his mother was able to take him to her home in Putney, London. His mother had met a man named Bill Carmichael while in London, who had asked her to marry him, but she wanted approval from her son. Pierce gave his approval, and the couple got married. From then on, Bill treated Pierce as his real son, and they got along well. It was Bill who took Pierce to see his first Bond movie, Goldfinger, in 1964, and it was at that point that he decided to take up acting. Being an Irish Catholic in the 1950s and having a father who was not there, and a partially available mother, was not easy for Pierce. However, he was a strong man who navigated through all those obstacles to attain greatness. He never blamed his mother for leaving him. Rather, he commended his mother's courage for taking the bold steps to go away and be a nurse in England. Essentially, she wanted a better life for herself and her little Pierce. He also acknowledged that his mother came home once a year and sometimes twice a year. He was raised in a Catholic family and educated in a local school run by the De La Salle brothers, where he served as an altar boy before reuniting with his mother. When he moved to London with her, he started attending the Elliott School in Putney, now known as Ark Putney Academy. When discussing his transition from Ireland to England, he said, "When you go to a very large city, a metropolis like London, as an Irish boy of 10, life suddenly moves pretty fast, and you're Irish, and they make you feel it. The British have a wonderful way of doing that, and I had a certain deep sense of being an outsider. This gave him the nickname Irish at school. He was constantly bullied in school, especially for his height. At the age of 11, he was almost 6 feet tall, which made him a target of bullies. After leaving school at the age of 16, Pierce Brosnan had no clear roadmap to fame or stardom. Instead, he pursued a creative path rooted in his early love for visual arts. He enrolled at St. Martin's School of Art in London, where he began training in commercial illustration with the hopes of becoming a professional painter. Art gave him a sense of purpose, identity, and satisfaction at a time when he was still finding his way. Pierce never took his painting training lightly. He was deeply committed to his craft, working on developing his skills in drawing and design, and even took on jobs to support himself while studying. However, his life took a dramatic and unexpected turn one day while attending a rehearsal for a theater workshop at the Oval House, a vibrant cultural center in London known for experimental arts. There, he saw a fire eater teaching people how to eat fire. This experience was not only shocking to Pierce, but it was also a display of captivating and theatrical skill. He was intrigued and decided to join the session. To his surprise, he discovered an unexpected thrill in performance. This playful experience sparked his interest in acting and stage presence. The joy and connection he felt during the fire-eating exercise planted a deep desire that would eventually blossom into a celebrated acting career. This encounter led him to explore performance further, and he eventually enrolled at the Drama Centre London to train as an actor. He trained for 3 years as an actor at the drama school. While describing the feeling of becoming an actor and the influence it had on his life, he said, "When I found acting, or when acting found me, it was a liberation." Brosnan has often reflected on this moment as a pivotal turning point where a young man with a dream of painting accidentally found his true calling in the world of theater and film. His early jobs and artistic pursuits gave him a foundation in discipline and expression, both of which would become vital assets in his acting career. Pierce Brosnan career. Pierce Brosnan is best known for playing James Bond, but his acting career spans a wide range of roles in film and television. Pierce's acting career began on the stage, long before he became a household name through his film and television appearances. After completing his formal training at the Drama Centre, he quickly found work in British theatre. He appeared in various stage productions, including a notable performance in Wait Until Dark, a suspense thriller written by Frederick Knott. Pierce was versatile in his early stage work, which demonstrated his charisma, helping him gain credibility as a serious actor. One of his key early roles came in the British premiere of A Streetcar Named Desire, a rarely performed play by American playwright Tennessee Williams. Pierce portrayed the character McCabe, a mysterious figure caught in a web of power and psychological drama. His performance earned him critical praise, which caught the attention of industry professionals. This was a huge signal that he had the potential for more prominent roles. Success came quickly for Pierce Brosnan once he stepped into television. In 1981, he gained international recognition through his role in the American miniseries The Manyans of America. This show was a historical drama set in the 19th century, which focused on the struggles and dreams of Irish immigrants in the United States. Brosnan took up the lead role of Rory O'Manion, an idealistic and determined young Irish nationalist who was forced to flee his homeland due to British oppression and political conflict. He escapes to America, where he hopes to build a better future for himself and his people. Pierce connected deeply with this role because it closely reflected his Irish heritage, allowing him to play the character exceptionally well. This performance introduced him to American audiences and showcased his talent on a larger scale. Despite the success of that movie, Brosnan's true breakthrough came a year later when he was given the lead role in the NBC television series Remington Steele from 1982 to 1987. In the series, he played the role of a mysterious con man who assumes the identity of a fictitious private detective. Remington Steele ran for 5 seasons and became a major success in the United States and internationally. His portrayal of the suave, tuxedo-clad Steele made him a fan favorite and cemented his image as a leading man. It established Pierce's star power and also set the stage for his future casting as James Bond. Pierce Brosnan's career took an upward turn in 1995 when he took over the role of James Bond with GoldenEye. He was the 5th official actor to portray James Bond in the iconic 007 film series. His casting came after years of anticipation and much speculation. Sources revealed that Pierce had originally been considered for the role in the mid-1980s, but he was unable to accept it due to adherence to his contractual obligations to the television series Remington Steele. As fate had it, the opportunity came again in the early 1990s after a 6-year gap in the franchise. This was after Timothy Dalton's final Bond film in 1989. Pierce was finally free to take on the role of Bond in GoldenEye, a film that was both a critical and commercial success. Martin Campbell directed this session. The film marked a new era for the fictional piece. With Cold War politics no longer relevant, GoldenEye presented a modern and sophisticated version of Bond. Pierce's portrayal was applauded for combining the charm of Sean Connery with the edge of Timothy Dalton, bringing both elegance and toughness to the character. Because of the success of GoldenEye, Pierce returned as Bond in 3 more films. Tomorrow Never Dies in 1997, where Bond faces a media mogul trying to start a world war for ratings. The World Is Not Enough in 1999, in which Bond must protect an oil heiress while uncovering a deadly conspiracy. The last one was Die Another Day in 2002, which involved North Korean villains, invisible cars, and a more action-heavy style. Though Die Another Day received mixed reviews, it was a major box office hit. Across these 4 films, Pierce's portrayal brought in new fans and re-established James Bond as a global cinematic force in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Though his time as Bond ended after Die Another Day, his legacy within the series remains significant, bridging the classic and modern eras of the fictional series. Pierce's career strides did not end within the James Bond era. It was only the beginning of new adventures and greater exploits for him in the movie industry and other fields. After stepping away from his iconic role as James Bond in 2002, Pierce Brosnan charted a diverse and successful path in both film and television. This proved that he is talented far beyond the suave secret agent. Determined not to be confined by the Bond image, Brosnan took on a wide range of roles that showcased his versatility and depth as an actor. One of these performances that stood out in the entertainment industry was Dante's Peak in 1997. Even though the movie premiered while Pierce was still playing James Bond, it marked the beginning of his recognition as a versatile actor. Dante's Peak is a disaster film starring Pierce Brosnan as a volcanologist racing to save a town from a deadly volcanic eruption. The film was a box office hit, showcasing his ability to lead bigger action movies outside the spy genre. In 1999, he starred in The Thomas Crown Affair as the charming and cunning art thief, Thomas Crown. Pierce brought elegance and charisma to the role, reinforcing his appeal as a sophisticated leading man. Pierce also embraced musical comedy with Mamma Mia in 2008, where he played Sam Carmichael. His fans had mixed reviews about his singing but still loved his sincere performance. He resumed playing the role in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again in 2008, showing his willingness to take on fun, heartfelt projects. Pierce has since continued exploring complex characters in films like The Matador in 2005. He was also the main actor in Roman Polanski's political thriller The Ghostwriter in 2010, where he portrayed a fictional former British Prime Minister resembling Tony Blair, showcasing his dramatic range. Pierce has also been featured in many blockbuster movies in recent years. In 2022, he entered the superhero genre with Black Adam playing Dr. Fate, a mythical hero in the DC Extended Universe. Acting alongside Dwayne Johnson, Brosnan brought gravitas and depth to the role, attracting a new generation of fans. His impact in the entertainment industry extends beyond movies alone. On television, Brosnan starred in The Sun from 2017 to 2019, a Western drama series where he played Eli McCullough, a powerful Texas oil tycoon whose life is told across generations. This marked his return to TV and allowed him to explore long-form character development with a darker, more complex figure. Beyond acting, Brosnan has made significant contributions to philanthropy, environmental causes, and humanitarian work. He has been an outspoken advocate for ocean conservation, collaborating with organizations such as the Natural Resources Defense Council and the International Fund for Animal Welfare. He has done this alongside his wife, Keely Shea Smith, and has actively opposed environmentally harmful developments while supporting marine protection efforts. This illustrates how teamwork can strengthen relationships and foster love. Keely Shea, early life and career. Keely was born in 1963 in Vallejo, California, southwest of Stockton, but then lived in Hawaii. She moved to Southern California when she was 5 years old and attended her first elementary school on the beach. That made her develop an appreciation for the ocean there. Her passion for environmental services began in childhood, when she worked to help save the Bolsa Chica wetlands. She asserted, "We took many field trips to collect trash on the beaches and around the wetlands. We then used the money from recycling to take trips to Yosemite, Catalina, Death Valley, and Dana Point to study ecology. I applaud the teachers who created that program." Keely left California after college in 1984 and moved to New York City to pursue an acting and modeling career. She began her career as a model and featured in numerous music videos, including the MTV music video with Huey Lewis, Stuck With You. In 1990, she appeared as Valerie Freeman for one season on General Hospital. Keely made her directorial debut and produced the documentary film Poisoning Paradise in 2017. The film delves into the seemingly idyllic world of native Hawaiians, whose communities are surrounded by experimental test sites for genetically engineered seed corn and pesticides. Her passion for environmental reserves drove her to work as an environmental correspondent for 6 years at home on ABC News, earning her 2 Genesis Awards, a Special Achievement Award at the 1991 Environmental Film Festival, and a nomination from the Environmental Media Association. Other organizations, including Women in Film, the Natural Resources Defense Council, EMA, Earth Communications Office, Heal the Bay, Oceana, Senator Barbara Boxer, the Malibu Times, and Organic Style magazine have all honored Keely for her ongoing commitment to the environment. Despite all these commitments, she never abandoned her role as a journalist and TV personality. Keely served as a correspondent for NBC's primetime hit show Unsolved Mysteries from 1995 to 1997 in the show's phone center, providing information on updated stories as well as for special bulletin segments. ABC's Good Morning America was one of the prominent TV shows in America which she featured in as a gardening expert and correspondent. Other shows she featured in include Mike and Matey, NBC's Today Show, CBS's Entertainment Tonight, and World Entertainment Report. She also hosted Great Bears, a series for the Outdoor Life Network. Her career, which spans modeling, journalism, environmental management, advocacy, and philanthropy, makes her a powerful woman who has contributed significantly to society. It has also strengthened her bond with her husband, Pierce Brosnan, because they complement each other in diverse ways. Their love story serves as a lesson that through commitment, support, and love for one another, even a relationship that seems broken from the outset can become a formidable force, impacting society and changing the world at large. Even at 72, Pierce knew that meeting Keely was the turning point of his life, and he is proud to call her the love of his life. What do you think of the love story between Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Smith? Do you think Pierce was wrong for calling Keely the love of his life despite his love for his ex-wife, Cassandra? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Like this video and share it with someone. Before you leave, take a moment to explore other videos on this channel.